Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Jake. You can also call me Atrocious, and today we've got the National University 3v3 One Piece Trading Card Game Tournament in the OP06 ST13 meta just before EBO1 comes out. So if you're looking on a good analysis of the meta, some final decks that were made during this meta before we in like NA or Europe, I guess, or Australia or wherever you're from, that's not Japan, get the OP06 cards, this is a good place to start. So looking forward to this one. We saw what the matchup was going to be: Sakazuki versus Gecko Moria, and obviously you know it from the title and description. What are the other decks in this one? So pretty typical. We've seen these groups of three before. I remember this Joker name, I think, of the Morias, the Sakazukis, and the Katakuri Nell as well. We're going to be seeing one of these two matchup, a matchup that we haven't seen yet in this 3v3 in full rundown. So I'm excited to watch this one. But before we really get going in here, just want to let you all know that this is not my content. This is just the official live stream. So if you want to watch the actual live stream, make sure to go to the link in the description below where you can watch the full thing without my blibber blabbers. So going into this one, it could be an exciting one in here. This is the matchup that we'll see all the time. The best deck in format, I feel like, for the OP06 ST13 meta, Sakazuki against what I would potentially consider like the number 2 deck of the meta, which is the Gecko Moria. Black just being a really strong color in general in this game and in this format, and two different archetypes mixing a little bit similar cards, but the Thriller Barks versus the Navy. It looks like the Sakazuki has a pretty decent hand right now. They've got Brand New and Great Eruption to start off for the early game, as well as Ice Age Rebecca and the 8-drop Gecko Moria. The 8-drop, one of the strongest cards in the game, and honestly, in my opinion, the strongest card of OP06. It's going to be a tale of who gets to play more of those guys down, in all truth, for me personally. And it looks like they're going to have a Great Eruption and Brand New of their own, but 2 Peronas and an Absalom. So honestly, not a bad hand, I feel like, for the Gecko Moria either. You do get a chance to pitch one of those Absalom or Peronas early to then use off of the leader effect. It looks like the Gecko Moria is going first, which you're pretty okay with. I feel like from what I've seen, Gecko Moria wants to go first to use that turn 2 leader effect. So just the Moria, 1 Dawn and pass. Now the Sakazuki's turn. Gonna probably play that Brand New. Got that Ama no Murakuma off the draw, and it looks like a Brand New is coming our way. The Brand New going to be showing a Virgo, a Helmeppo, and a Borsalino. So 3 Navy cards. Going to be grabbing the Virgo. Nice 2K counter off of that. The Helmeppo being in trash is pretty good off the Rebecca, right? Using the Rebecca effect. So might as well just get the 2K counter. Now opting to use leader effect and thinking about really what they want to do off the leader effect. Could pitch the Ice Age, thinking about maybe the Virgo as well. I think those are your 2 options right here. And just going to be doing that Virgo, grabbing the Hina. The Hina, another perfect target for the leader effect next turn potentially, as the Moria player goes into the 3 Dawn turn and grabs a Borsalino off the top. So going to go ahead and use leader effect after not getting the turn 1 Sindri. Going to be putting a Perona in trash and also pitching the Sindri and the Borsalino. So the Perona is going to be played for free because of the leader effect, and going to be using the option of pitching a card. So the Sakazuki player having to pitch a card now through that on play effect and looking to do Ice Age potentially. I don't mind Ice Age. A lot of these characters for Gecko Moria are not super huge, so grabbing a Tashigi Searcher off of that life and drawing a Rob Lucci for turn on their 4 Dawn turn. So 4-Dawn turn, you could do a couple different things. You could maybe swing with the brand new. I don't think that's a good idea though, personally. So, but the thing is, if you do commit something like the Great Eruption, right, you're not going to be able to play the Rebecca for turn. You're not going to be able to play the Rob Lucci for turn. So although the Great Eruption could be good to draw cards, I think you're probably fine just using leader effect on the Hina to draw a little bit and then play from there. So thinking about what they want to do exactly, you do have the -1 effect from the Sakazuki swing, but nothing else would be able to get rid of this Perona. So I don't think you should focus on KOing the Perona this turn. I think you just kind of let it be and use leader effect for this Hina. Drawing a card is going to be another Tashigi Searcher, and so with the Tashigi Searchers, we've seen they're very, very valuable in not only drawing a Navy character, which could be that Borsellino, could be the no, just the Borsellino or whatever that card is they put in the back. I don't know exactly what it was. Is that a Virgo? Might be a Virgo. So those are their two options that they could do here. It looks like they're leaning towards Borsellino. I don't mind that, to be honest. Can get you a blocker that potentially you could play next turn, and so they're going to be grabbing that guy right there. He does have 1k counter on him as well. I wouldn't mind you playing the other Tashigi on top as well, and then maybe either using the 2-Dawn, the rest of it for like a 7k Sakazuki swing or something. Found a Houndblaze in there. Houndblaze, very, very good. A nice card to get. Also a Suru in there. It looks like maybe brand new is at 3,000. Yeah, some brand news as well. But Houndblaze, definitely the #1 choice in my opinion to put in your hand. Just a really, really good card for getting rid of these, and going to be attaching the 2 to swing 5, do a little bit of poke damage with that brand new. I actually like that better than the 7k on the leader, because you just get 2 swings in here. This is either 2 cards, a life and a card, or 2 life. So could be really, really good. And thinking about countering out the Borsellino after that first life, I think was an 8-drop Moria. So going to be moving now into the 5-Dawn turn for the player on the left, top decking a Helmeppo, I think. Gosh, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I've been recording like all these videos at once. And so thinking about what they want to do, potentially playing the brand new. You could play the brand new, build up your trash just a little bit more, and then use the rest of the 3-Dawn for the leader effect, because you would get to play another character down for free. And so using the brand new, you can grab a Great Eruption or a Suru, and you've already got a Great Eruption in hand. You don't have a ton of counter, but I think Great Eruption could just be good, honestly, especially as characters begin to hit the field. You draw a card and minus a character. Just really, really good event card, and we've seen it time and time again. So thinking about what they want to do, going to be swinging that Perona. I think thinking between either attacking the brand new or life, and it looks like they're going to be swinging at life because there's a 1k Borso counter. And so probably just using leader effect, and it looks like that's what they're doing. Thinking about maybe not doing it. What else would you do though? I think you definitely do it. So using leader effect, going to be pitching a card. Could pitch the Perona to play another Perona for free. I wouldn't mind pitching the Helmeppo, but going to be pitching the Absalom and then ditching on a Dr. Hogback and an 8-drop Moria. Going to be playing that Absalom and KOing the brand new or Tashigi. Either one would be interesting. If you're swinging at life, definitely get a Tashigi, but it looks like, or I'm sorry, if they were doing at life, definitely KO the brand new, and that's exactly what they were doing. The other option that I was mixing in with that is if you swung at the brand new, you definitely KO Tashigi. So going for the life route, 2 life to 4. Now Sakazuki and Moria. There was, I think, a Rob Lucci draw in there. So Thinking about what they want to do. What is that Navy card next to the Rob Lucci? I can't tell exactly what that is. That might be a Tashigi? Not 100% sure. But anyways, using leader effect to trash the Lucci, get another Rebecca. Thinking about what they want to do. I don't think that's actually... That might be like a Suru or something. It's a 0 cost character, or a 0 power character, I think. And that is the mystery card that I was talking about earlier. But focusing on what's going on now, it is going to be potentially a 5k swing. You could swing the 5 at like the Perona. I definitely think the minus that you do is probably your target off of the Houndblaze in here and get one of these Tashigis to attack, or you could make it one of the targets for the Amano Murakuma. So going to be minusing, I think, the Branu and swinging at the Perona here. You do have a great eruption of your own to be able to minus some characters, so getting that Branu down to 1, if they counter out of this and the Perona stays alive, you could use a great eruption to minus the Perona or minus the Absalon. And then with the Absalon, wait, so that would be 1 Dawn. No, you can't do what I'm thinking. I was thinking that you maybe do Rob Lucci, Houndblaze, and Great Eruption, but you need 1 more Dawn in order to do that exactly. So I think what you would do actually is just Great Eruption and then Rob Lucci. And unfortunately, then one of the 4-drop characters would survive off of that, but I don't think you mind that too much. So going for a safe route instead, going to be grabbing Rebecca and playing the Hina, probably because they're going to use Houndblaze. So using that Absalon there and then using the 2 Dawn to play Houndblaze on the Tashigi to put it up to 5,000 power. Probably going to be bottom decking the Absalon here and then swinging 5 at the Perona. Or they could go at life at this point. You did get some counter already because of the Sakazuki swing, and only with a 4-card hand, could be able to sneak out either another card or maybe just get the KO here. And it looks like they're going to be ditching the 2K counter, so that's a good sign. You love seeing a 2K counter hit the bin, but unfortunately it's a 2K Perona that they could play off of the leader effect in this next turn. So top decking the Borsalino could be some good for you now at 7 Dawn. And thinking about what they want to do, they could potentially put the Borsalino down. If they did the Borsalino, they could still use leader effect and then have the Branu battle the Tashigi there. Just do a little mini battle because Tashigis are big like Houndblaze targets like the Branu. I don't think that would be a bad play at this point. And then you could use Perona to maybe get your opponent to ditch a card, or maybe use Perona to discard or like get rid of the Hina. Or no, because it would just give an opponent -3 cost for the turn. So like you would be able to minus the Hina, but you wouldn't be able to KO it. So going ahead and using leader effect first after getting that Suru, pitching a Great Eruption. I do think that's probably one of the better cards in your hand to pitch. Unfortunately, getting another one of those Peronas down. If I had to pitch something, I think that Rob Lucci is a good idea as of what they did. And thinking about just using the Rebecca to block, staying at 2 life at this point. And I think you definitely swing the Branu, right? Swing the Branu at the Tashigi, but you can use the rest of the 4 Dawn to put down a Borsalino blocker. And the blocker is very annoying that they have to deal with, right? Both players only a few cards in their hand. I think they might also be thinking about attaching the rest of the Dawn on the Branu and swinging at the Hina, but playing the Borsalino, like I mentioned, why not swing at the Tashigi? Why not swing at the Tashigi? Why not? I don't know why they didn't swing at the Tashigi there. You have a 1k advantage. It's a character that gets KO'd. I mean, yeah, your brand new's like an easy target right there, but like, I don't know. I feel like that's a mistake. Anyways, moving into this next turn, it's going to be the 8 Dawn turn now for the Sakazuki. They've got a Houndblaze in hand and a Great Eruption as well as the Amano Murakuma. So with the leader effect, they could -1 one character, Great Eruption -2 on another character, use Amano Murakuma to bottom deck like the brand new and the Borsalino, right? And get some of these characters to swing freely on the Perona. But I think maybe they're thinking about just using the 8-drop in general. I definitely think maybe going the route that I was mentioning could be good. And also playing the Rebecca for the turn to get another Rebecca job going. Because what would that be? That would be 1, 2, 4. So you would have 1 Dawn left after that. So going to be swinging 5. And it wouldn't surprise me if this was at the Perona. This could also be at life. You haven't really done a lot of life attacking at this point. And you're going to be bottom decking some characters. So going to be thinking about what they want to do here. And it looks like they were swinging at the Perona and taking that knockout. I think especially with the 2-card hand, like I think you definitely want to target that Perona right there and then use maybe the Hina to do another one. So going to be thinking about what they want to do. I think definitely you do the minus off the Great Eruption and then the Amano Murakuma before you ever think about swinging with that Hina to basically stop the Borso block at this point. He's like, yeah, you got 2 cards in hand? He's like, yep, that's all I got. So thinking about what he should do right here. Has he used Leader Effect? I don't think he's used Leader Effect for the turn actually as well. So thinking also about just using the 8 cost right there to go ahead and take some damage. The 8 cost, if you did the 8 cost and they're going the Great Eruption route, which they means they can't do the 8 cost, but if they did the 8 cost, what you could do is you could 8 cost, use the Helm Epo to minus the Perona 3 and then use like Rob Lucci to KO the Branu and the Perona, which could be nice, but I would honestly rather get rid of the Borsalino before the Perona, because the Perona, if it continues to like cycle through, it's just eating a card at your hand every time through leader effects. So going to be looking at for Dawn, could be playing Rebecca right here. And it looks like they will be playing the Rebecca, playing that down and grabbing something from the trash. It could be a Helm Epo, could be a Virgo. So this Virgo is going to come in hand, a nice 2k counter, and then playing the starter deck Hina from hand sideways and minusing the Perona, I believe. And so going to be using 2 Dawn now for the Amano Murakuma. It's going to bottom deck a 2 and a 1. So it's actually going to be those 2. So getting rid of those 2 characters right there, those big characters, is really, really nice. So using the Great Eruption and then the leader effect to put 1 at 1 and then using the Hina to put 1 at 0, bottom decks those, and then the 6k Hina swing is taking a life. So excellent job. Actually a better play than what I thought. I was saying getting rid of Branu, but they saw the line to be able to get rid of the 2 5,000 kind of 6k body as well, if you count Borsalino in that sometimes, out of the field. So very, very good stuff going on. Now at, I believe, 9 Dawn, they could play the Gecko Moria. The Gecko Moria would cycle the Perona in the trash, as well as get maybe a Branu if they have it, or maybe a Helm Epo, to be able to get another card out of their hand. They only have a 3-card hand right now, but be able to have another Dawn to go and use for the leader for a 6k swing as well. And so using 1 for the Great Eruption first, that Great Eruption is going to draw a card. Going to be a Borsalino blocker, which is very, very nice. So going to be minusing a character. It'll be interesting to see what they minus. Going to be the Hina that's rested, one of the Hinas that's rested. So that Hina is going to go down to 1 cost and then going to be swinging 5 at the, I think, other rested Hina, or it could be life. And so we'll see what they want to do. They only have a 2k counter in hand, so it's going to be whether or not they want to block right here or not. And I'm trying to think about what they could do. So that's at 2. If they use the Helmeppo, they could like Helmeppo and rob Lucci off of the 8-drop Moria to get rid of both of the Hinas. And they're at least going to be playing the 8-drop. And what are they going to grab off the 8-drop here? Also, the Perona could -3 as well. I forgot about that one. It doesn't always have to discard a card, so it's going to be Helmeppo, and it looks like Rob Lucci, like I was mentioning. So going to be getting rid of both of those Hinas here, if I had to take a guess. Going to be doing the minusing effect first before announcing the Rob Lucci, and going to be pitching or putting back at the bottom of the deck the 3 Great Eruptions. So great job getting a stronghold on the board state on both sides of the field. And now we go into Sakazuki's 10 Dawn turn. So at 10 Dawn, full strength, but maybe not so much full strength because of the cards in hand or lack thereof. Did they use leader effect last turn? I don't even know if they used leader effect last turn, but anyways, they haven't done it this turn yet. And so is eyeing up probably the 8-drop Gecko Moria to grab some characters. You could grab a couple different ones. I don't know if you can grab enough to really be able to do a ton. You could play a Helmeppo of your own and then rob Lucci to get rid of Lucci Helmeppo. That could be nice. If you wanted to, and then you could like Houndblaze it to Shigi and get rid of a brand new as well and be able to swing a bunch more, swing like 2 5s off of Tashigi and leader. So that could be nice if you wanted to, but gonna start out swinging 5 with the leader and minusing 1 a character. What would you minus here? What would you minus here? Some things that you could do is you could try to aim to bottom deck the Moria as well. Like if you got really aggressive with like your own 8-drop, like bringing back things that minus characters, you could just like use a Hina Helmeppo to bring it to 1 and like leader effect for 0 and then just Houndblaze it. I don't know if that's the best idea though. I'm really liking my idea personally of using your 8 costs to get rid of the Lucci and Helmeppo and then using Houndblaze to get rid of Branu. So they're going to be minusing the Branu, I believe. So taking a life right there, it is going to be a Ice Age. I think that's the Ice Age alternate art. And so using the 8-drop, as I mentioned, going to be putting that guy down and grabbing something. Some 2 things, really. It's going to be Helmeppo and Rob Lucci. So he's going to be using Helmeppo, Rob Lucci. I don't know exactly which order, though, or which characters, I should say, he is going to take out. But it could be the Branu and the Rob Lucci, to be honest. And so going to be minusing 3, the Rob Lucci, and then using the Rob Lucci to KO Branu and Rob Lucci. I'm going to be putting back Amano Murakuma, the Great Eruption, and the Houndblaze, because those aren't events that you can get back through characters and stuff in the trash. And so going to now only see a Helmeppo. So you could Houndblaze the Helmeppo if you wanted to, because that's just a little 2-cost guy there. It's basically the same as the brand new. And also, actually, bottom decking the Helmeppo is really strong, because that means that if the Gecko Moria player doesn't, if they do get another 8-drop, then that means they can't cycle another Helmeppo. So that actually might be a really, really good idea. I would maybe lean into that. I think that's worth it overall. And so going to be doing that exact same thing, bottom decking the Helmeppo, boosting the Tashigi, swinging 5 now at the leader. And they got to think, they only have a 2K and a 1K counter in hand, the Ice Age and the Kuzan, not ones with counter. And so going to be taking that life, it is going to be a brand new. And so now you just pass, right? You just pass the turn, pass it off to the Moria player, and you say, all right, good luck. They've got a full board on field, a bunch of little characters that they can spread a lot of Dawn through. Using leader effect for the Virgo, this is very interesting. You know there's nothing that has rush on the field, and so using the Virgo to pitch because you know you're not going to lose next turn is actually not that bad of a play, in my opinion. You keep the Houndblaze because you can bottom deck like a Borsalino potentially in the near future, but then also on top of that, you draw a card, and that card being Great Eruption, now you can guarantee if there's a Borsalino blocker, it's getting bottom deck. So really, really good heads up play, I feel like, from the Sakazuki player, and Sakazuki looking really, really good at this stage of the game. And so now the Moria thinking about what they want to do. What's the count of how many times I've said thinking about what they want to do in this video alone? I've recorded like all of these 3-on-3s in one single night just because, I don't know, I wanted to. And that's why my voice is a little hoarse for longtime listeners of the channel that may be like, oh, he sounds a little different today. But anyways, going into this one, thinking about what the best option for you. The problem is you can't Kuzan into Borsalino into Kuzan. Or, Kuzan into double Borsalino, right? So you can't get as many blockers as you want. I think they're thinking about playing the Sindri. Why play the Sindri? So playing the Sindri right here, going to be trashing the top 5, getting a 2K out of your hand. It's going to be Suru, Sabo, another Sindri, an 8-drop, an Absalom, and a 2-cost character. What is that 2-cost character right there? I can't tell exactly what that is, but anyways, going to be continuing on in here. They also have that 2-cost character in hand, so I would love to know what that is. Continuing on in here, we'll see what they want to do. I think they're thinking about playing, they might be playing that too. Oh, I think that's a brand new, I think that's the brand new alternate art that we haven't gotten yet in English, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So going to be playing that card. Yep, it's brand new. So looking at the top 3, looking for a Navy. Oh, did not find any Navy. That's a CP, a Dressrosa, and a Thriller Bark Pirates. So really just trashing 3 cards at this point. So really thinking about, they're in a bad spot. They are just in a bad spot, and unless you find something like Cerberus, right, that's a blocker, even then I don't know if it can help you. So thinking about with the 1 Dawn, I think going to be using that leader effect like I mentioned, and then using the rest of the 4 Dawn for like Borsalino. I think the only thing that could really save you is like using the leader effect and your 2 cards trashing a Thriller Barks Pirate blocker, which I think is only Cerberus, right? Pitching that Kuzan. It's going to be a Perona and an 8-drop Moria. So thinking about grabbing something, could grab a Hogback. The Hogback will grab Perona. The Perona is a 2K counter, so actually maybe that wasn't maybe that's not the worst thing in the world, like grabbing a 2K counter, maybe kind of fake out your opponent a little bit, make you think that you have more than you do, and discarding the Helmeppo. So I think they were swinging at Helmeppo there, and now using this 9. Are you going to swing the 9 at the Tashigi? That feels so bad, but I think you have to. Oh, swinging at life. Okay. So swinging at life, it's a Borsalino, and then playing a Borsalino of their own. I don't know if I would have preferred the Bors or swinging it at the Tashigi or just doing exactly what they did. I think you're kind of screwed either way overall. But playing that one, going to be that Houndblaze, like I mentioned, going to be the 2 right there. They drew another Houndblaze as well. So Houndblazing that Borsalino, going to be putting it on the Gecko Moria? Really? Oh, going to be putting it on the Tashigi. And so putting it on the Tashigi and then bottom decking the Borsalino. No blockers in your way. You definitely play the other Houndblaze too, but swinging the 9 there, going to be taking that life. It's going to be an 8 cost Moria right there. And so just stacking all the Dawn. I mean, I guess you could go a little bit chippy, so going to be swinging 7 and taking that win. So it looks like the team on the right is going to be moving into the next round, into the championship final. I think maybe it was 1-1 as the Sakazuki and the Moria was playing, and so it was definitely a close one. But I honestly feel like the Sakazuki had control pretty much the whole game. I mean, yeah, it was kind of like close on paper, but I don't know. I just feel like the amount of cards that he saw to be able to bottom deck and really be able to really manipulate the game state and the board state and constantly put out those characters. I'm still mad that the Gecko Moria player didn't swing the brand new at the Tashigi. Like, I don't think it mattered overall, but I was like, man, he should have done that. Anyways, that's going to be all for this one. Let's check out what the next round is going to be. It's going to be the Ryuji and the Yamato with the Mora and the Sakazuki mirrors. I hope they stream this game. Please tell me they stream this game. Please tell me they do. They do. That's yellow and green cards. The next video is going to be Yamato. These are my top 2 decks of OP06 in terms of ones that I want to play. I'm so excited for this game. I hope you join me in the next video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope to see you soon.